Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER. That was different.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, geek culture, pop culture commentary. I am Seven, keeping it simple. And I'm here with the one, the only, the original, the slasher, the dasher.
Pause.
Oh, pause?
Doing middle names? I'm Shamar, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, wow. That's it?
Yep.
Cool.
I'm Shamar. You said Seven. I'm Shamar.
Cool. So today we're going to talk about movies, but in a different way. Okay? A little different. Today we're going to talk about films that are kind of like, oh, we've seen this before, but they kind of twist it, and you're like, I'm not that mad what they did with the film.
Okay.
Now, what inspired this is we originally talked about Megan,
Yeah.
and we've seen this millions of times, right? Like, okay, artificial intelligence turns on us, but they did a good job with it.
Right.
So that's what inspired this episode. And they're doing a part 2 to Megan, right?
Correct.
Now, the only thing I could think of, there was a guy in the film that was stealing plans. He was stealing information.
What?
You
Yeah.
You noticed that? Right. So that's the only thing I could think of. Otherwise, it doesn't really make, how can they have a part 2? But
Because remember,
Mhm.
they don't know if she transferred her consciousness into Siri.
Oh,
That's how they did it. Because remember, they focused on the Siri thing at the end.
okay. Oh, okay.
So, and the guy that basically got the information.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Spoiler alert: he died.
Yeah, spoiler alert, he died, so yeah. But that was pretty good. All right, so let's move on. Let's see, what else is on the list? Beef. On Netflix, there's this show called Beef, and I'm going to look up just to say the cast, because it was pretty good. But the first thing I got from was War of the Roses. And that's a comedy. And there's been tons of movies with basically goes back, the neighbors fighting, the McCoys and the Hatfields kind of thing. We've seen this time and time again. But with Steven Yeun and Ali Wong, killed it. I think it was a great miniseries. The acting, the comedy, and it's technically, they describe it as a comedy drama. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, there's been comedy dramas, so I would say, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to describe it. But I think it was great. The acting was great. They had some touching moments. They had that, the aha enlightenment moment. It taught you something if you allowed it to, but it wasn't preachy. I thought it was great. And I was surprised. So that's number 2 on my list of, we've seen this a million times before, but they did a great job with it.
Okay.
Anything on your list?
Let's see. I was surprised about one movie. Oh, Evil Dead. Right?
Okay. Now what about it have we seen millions times before, but that they did something you're like, oh, that was a little different. I appreciate it.
Evil Dead Rises had this, because you compared it to. Can we compare it to like its sequels or its predecessor? Like, okay, so the original Evil Dead, you had your little quirkiness, you had your comedy mixed with horror. This one, I would say it had a lot of little little shot of comedy, a little bit, but it was a well balanced horror.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, certain things that the woman, I forgot the lady's name, but the character that got possessed and the one that was focused on the film, she was saying some really dark stuff,
Mm.
but it was kind of funny, but it was like, dang, that's kind of dark. Like it was like possessed there and stuff. It was like, oh wow. But overall, it was really good.
Okay.
But it has some good tropes. And yes, it's always that chainsaw reference in that movie. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah,
You have, but with that kind of series, you gotta have that.
yeah.
Now there's been a lot of Evil Dead. So does it really mirror the original one?
A little bit, yeah. But it became its own style. Like I told
Okay.
the audience in my little 50-second or 60-second video,
Mm-hmm.
there are no mid or end credit scenes.
Okay.
Ash doesn't make an appearance, just to let you
Ah.
know.
Okay.
But I will say this, and those who already saw the film, cool,
Mm.
cool, cool, cool. Oh, so just those who haven't seen it, this is a spoiler alert. So if you don't want to be spoiled, give
Do you
us about. Huh? Oh, okay. I thought you was about to say something.
No, just
So,
spit it out.
okay. So there is a book in an economic book. So there are 3 books. The one that we so used to seeing is the one with the eyeball.
Right. With the face, the
Yeah. This one in this movie has the teeth.
mm,
So I'm assuming that the 3rd book has something to do with hearing. So it see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil.
okay.
So this is going to be interesting, really interesting, because I think the 3rd movie going to have something to do with hear no evil, and then I think the final one will have all the books coming together.
Okay.
And
Now, do you have to watch it in a theater, or can we stream this as well?
you got to watch it.
Okay. Okay. I can dig
Because
it.
yeah. Oh, Megan.
No, I said I could dig it.
Okay.
You can
But it
stream
was.
Megan now. Megan, you can
Oh,
stream.
I know. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. You can stream Megan now. Hey, how many months has been in the
Yeah.
theaters?
Well, another one that's been in the theaters for a while, Halloween End, and
Okay.
hold
I'm
on
gonna
one
let you
sec.
talk.
Yeah, I found that. Hold on a second. I found that that was really good in the fact that it ended. They didn't do the he disappears at the like they really did Halloween End, and they did explore finally something different, like him using like I don't know, hypnosis, or I don't know. At least they gave something different with Jason. It wasn't the same old thing. It wasn't a great movie, but I
Okay.
was glad that it ended. I'm glad that all right, that's it. Wrap it up.
Oh,
Call it a day. You know.
okay. With me, there was a lot they could have did with Halloween.
Mm.
Matter of fact, they could have just ended by Halloween Kills.
True. They could have.
You know, and I understand they just probably wanted to end the franchise, but I really think having 3 series to
Mm.
just end it all by the 3rd one didn't make sense. I ain't really understood the whole process, spoiler alert, of the other guy
Mm.
story. Yes, he was a loner, he was an outcast, but it's so many ways you could have basically utilized his story. It
Right.
has maybe a redemption, or maybe make him the next Michael Myers,
Right.
but they didn't execute it right.
Do you,
They did a hard.
did you believe the whole he got almost possessed by Michael Myers. That was a little bit of a stretch for me.
No, I think it could have worked
Hmm.
if they basically, because his whole story was pretty much he was a babysitter. He was watching a kid, and then the kid did something. He fell down the stairs, and the kid died.
And he
So
got blamed for it.
and he
Right.
got blamed for it. I think what they could have done. No, he hit. I think the kid was doing a prank, and he fell down the stairs, and the
Right.
kid fell.
He locked the door, but when the guy kicked open the door, the kid fell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
we ruined it for you, but you
no,
didn't.
some people
Yeah.
probably.
It's
Yeah.
it's out there for a while.
Yeah. So it's just that I feel as though if they would have made it in a way where he was pulling the prank,
Mm-hmm.
besides the kid pulling the prank,
Right.
I would understand that. Like, okay, the kid he played the prank on the kid, and the kid died. He thought he was, it was just a prank, and he got blamed for it.
Right.
Yeah, and it made sense for him to be blamed for it.
Totally.
And then you could orchestrate a redemption story, try to like make his name, clean his name out, or you could have make Michael Myers possess him and make him become the next Michael Myers.
Well, let me ask you this: was there any redeeming thing to this,
I mean,
or no?
it wasn't like he should have never been in the story.
Okay. So there was nothing redeeming for you in this. It was like, nah, that's it. It just and that's
Yeah.
fair. No, that's cool. I totally understand that because it wasn't a great movie. Like I think if I went to the movie theater and paid for that, I would have been very upset.
Yeah.
I'm as a fan. I mean, the kills were good. The um, the acting was good, but anyway. All right,
Yeah.
so Beef, Megan. Oh, Eat Local. This was a random film that I would not have normally paid attention to, and it was good to see some actors that have done some great things after that. It wasn't too old of a film, Eat Local. I think it was on Amazon Prime. But okay, so what are we seeing over and over again? Okay, vampires. Okay, vampires, vampires, vampires. But I like the fact that we saw vampires being contained in a small space versus humans being contained in a small space. I thought that was pretty cool. And just comedy, but it wasn't like stupid comedy. Anytime you have a vampire film and they do comedy, it's very clownish. And I thought they did a good job of not doing that. Go ahead.
Redfield. Renfield. The one
Yeah,
with the skate.
I I want to see it just because I'm curious, but I'll
Okay,
wait for that because it looks stupid.
not spoiler because I don't want to ruin the movie. It was a well balanced film.
Okay.
It was funny, but then it has this gore moments to the point that you're like, oh my god, this is a gory film, but it is kind of funny.
But was it funny or was it stupid funny? Because they usually don't do vampire comedies well. They're usually
I
dumb.
think this one was done well
Okay.
thanks to Nicolas Cage and the person he was working with. So, and was Aquafina?
She's in it.
Aqu-
Hmm.
yeah, and I will say, you make a, can I say the word bad
Nope.
A?
Nope.
I could just say bad
If you have to think about it, then you know you can't say it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say bad A cop. Made a good bad A cop.
Okay. Okay. I can see that. I can see that. So, yeah, it's one of those. Okay, let me look that up. Don't want to get the other person's name. Now, what do you call it? Renfield?
Mm-hmm. That was a good film. I have to give props to Nicolas Cage and his performance as Dracula.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. Look up the cast. Because Nicholas Holt,
Yeah.
he's he's like Nicolas Cage in a sense that he's done so many films, but he's one of those actors you don't say, "Oh, he's in this film. I got to see it," because it could go either way.
Right.
You know.
Because wasn't he in Warm Bodies?
Let me see here. He's done so many films. Let's see. Renfield, The Menu, Crossing Swords, The Great Who, Those Who Wish Me Dead, The Banker. You know he was in X-Men, right? He played Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, he was in a lot of stuff. But again, there's some actors where you're like, here's a paycheck. I'm an actor. They pay me to act, whatever. And then there's those that are like, no, I got to make sure this script is on point. So it could have went either way. But I'm glad that you said that it was good. So, but anyway, with this film, so you would say they did the comedy right, in which a lot of films do not do.
Right.
Okay. That is huge.
And that was huge. It kept my attention. It was funny. It wasn't like over the top comedy. It was over the top comedy, but it wasn't. It was done in a tasteful manner.
Okay. All right.
It was like, okay, you can see Dracula doing this. Oh, okay, this is funny and dark at the same time. Now, yes, he was in the movie I was talking about.
He was. So here's something to throw a little off, because normally we stay in the lane of film, series, streaming, in the theaters. I want to start bringing some reality shows in here. And this is why. Because reality shows, they're all the same show. It's like the same thing over and over and over again. There's all these shows where you got people like Love is Blind or Married at First Sight. All this, we got to get together. This show is kind of interesting because they're throwing people together, but they beg the question, which is also in the title, are you ready for love? So I thought I got to give them an honorable mention because at least they're asking that question. Because a lot of the people you watch these shows, they're deliciously entertaining because these people should not be in relationship. A lot of them are like dysfunctional. That's why they're single. Not, you know what I'm saying? These particular people are like just treating each other bad and selfish and doing all these things. And then they get together and then it explodes. And you're like, this is so entertaining because they have no business being together. And this show is like, well, are you ready for love? So I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay. But the thing about, are we all ready for love?
Humans are not ready for love.
Can we handle each other in their darkest times, in the difficult moments?
Not really.
And that's the thing.
Not really. Not to get all thing, but it's interesting when you watch like anime and some of the themes, and then, of course, sci-fi always has these themes of like balance between, technology, man's and woman's advancement, and then at the same time, how we're devolving, not evolving, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at all that, and you're like, well, you just see the constant contradiction in these films. That's why I love them so much, because it's like the people like, oh, I want to save the whales, but they won't feed someone homeless.
Right.
There you go. That's a good example right there. So
someone that's like, oh, I want food and I want help, and you give them food and they be like, that's not what I want. But you just said you're hungry, but I don't want you to give me food. I want you to give me money.
So it's very interesting, to say the least.
And, yeah.
So I check that out. It's called Are You Ready for Love? Yeah, Ready for Love. I think it's called Ready for Love. but it begs the question to the people getting together, and they keep voting people off based on if they're ready for love. So it's pretty
You know
good.
what I'm ready for?
I'm afraid. What are you ready for?
To be a billionaire.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Then love.
Any particular path and ways you thinking about acquiring this $1 billion? We got to figure that out first.
And we got to figure it out because I'm trying to find millions of ways that's legal, not illegal.
Right. Legal is important.
Yeah, because you ain't trying to go to jail.
No. Definitely not. So let's see. Anything else out there that fits underneath this umbrella of we've seen this millions of times, but they did a good job with it? Oh. I only saw a trailer. Who is in this? Is it Ben Affleck? Might be. It was like this guy that has mind control. We've seen that tons of times in film. Like the mind control alters the reality of the recipient of the person's powers.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at it. It was a random trailer, and I saw that. But it's definitely one of those like, might be. It had Inception kind of feel. The way the trailer was, the tone was pretty good.
Right.
So, but what I do, what I do.
Let's talk about one other thing. How much time we have?
But we're good on time. We got like 8 minutes.
Okay, so today we found out about CNN and Fox. They lost their two prominent people from their show. Don Lemon from CNN, and also on Fox, they lost Carl Tucker.
Well, not lost. They fired them.
They fired them, pretty much. I said lost to be nice. So, yes. So right now, like I told people, I think Carl Tucker was fired for a court case or something that Fox are being sued by. And Don Lemon is being fired because
I'm making this face because this is a huge pivot from the. This is. But go ahead.
I think Don Lemon. Don Lemon was fired because of he did apologize. Don Lemon did apologize, but something down the line they basically fired him for it.
Even though I do not know the particulars, nor could I speak on what has happened. All I know is they both got fired. I am surprised both of them didn't get fired a long time ago for random things that they've said and done. I'm surprised. I'm not wishing it. I'm just saying I'm surprised that it took this long, and I'll leave it at that. Because I don't know. I don't know the particulars at all. I didn't really care to know because they're not really doing anything great for humanity.
Don Lemon, really?
I am looking forward to see what he does now. I'm sure he's going to get another job somewhere else and do something.
Yeah, Don Lemon, I can see him getting another job. But Carl Tucker,
well, you know what? Like with the when he did the New Year's event and he was pissy drunk and out of line, I'm surprised you're fired then. Children are watching that. That's the one day they stay up. They don't even stay up for Christmas. They stay up for New Year's. So I was really surprised that they let that slip. But oh man, there's this song. Hold on. No, I don't know. I think we can play it like the copyright. stuff we play on the show, but it's a song called "I Don't Care," and it's like a theme song when it comes to the whole thing. Oh man!
You're the coldest brother I
I
ever
know
met
the
in my
Grinch.
life.
I got a tattoo of the Grinch on my on my arm
Myself.
right there. Yeah,
But
I was gonna
why?
do the whole back, but I said that might be too much.
But other than that, ladies and gentlemen,
That's other than that, I don't know what to tell you, but I am looking forward to seeing.
Evil Dead Rises.
Yes, as well as I'm looking forward to seeing this new crop of movies. Let's face it, they're not giving us anything new. They're not. They're just spitting out the same thing. So at least if they're going to give us the content that we've already seen, at least let us see a fresh idea in that content. So I'm looking forward, and hopefully this episode, at least the first half of it, will inspire them to be like, you know what? We realize you're going to give us trash. At least give us nicely smelling trash. You know?
Oh, nicely smelling trash.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you on Got 7 ready, Octave.
Oh man. Hold on, let's see. Can we yeah, we could give the people a little give them a little music underneath while we're there. So all right, give everybody your social media.
Dayveonne Bussey on Instagram and Facebook, and the Shamal Williams Show on Twitter and Twitch.
Yeah. Just go to GEEKCASTER.com or go to GEEKCASTER on IG, and you'll eventually find me. I'm no longer going to give out my social media. How about that? Just a rebel. Just a rebel.
And watch my show.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop.
I
want a reboot of the live action. I want them to do it again with different script, different actors. Just do it again.
It wasn't that bad.
Isn't that good?
It wasn't that bad.
All right. Next week we should talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Anything you're gonna watch this week that we could talk about next week?
Nah. I got a busy schedule, not this time. Oh,
Okay.
wait. I just finished watching Clerks 3. So I will be talking about Clerks.
Nice. Real quick, how was it? Thumbs up or thumbs down? You heard it here first, folks. Next week. All right, you're watching GEEKCASTER. Thank you. See you next time.